Tired of watching YouTube tutorials that make setting up an AI workflow look extremely easy, only to have it fall short of your expectations when you try it yourself? Most people making AI demos only show you the final product, refined and practiced for weeks before they shoot the content. This video is different. Come take a look over my shoulder as I work on my AI agent, Professor Synapse, and let's learn this together. Hey chatters, I'm Joe, the CEO of Synaptic Labs. We're the team behind Professor Synapse, one of the most used GPTs in the GPT store. Subscribe and ring the bell to get notified and stay up to date with this fast-moving industry. Let's get into it. So over here I have Discord, right? And I've got Professor Synapse hooked up to our Discord. You can create images if you want, and you can talk to him. And sort of, we've just been feeding him through, an embedding, a vector database, just like news. We've just been pushing for a long time into his vector database. So he just has tons of knowledge. So what I'm working on right now is just improving this bot and how it works. I'm testing it and I'm just trying to figure out. So one thing I need to solve is just memory, right? I want it to be able to be self-referential, but it's hard, right? Because you don't want to get over the context. You need to compact, but I want it to compact strategically. What I want to do is have some sort of smaller model, which all it does is decide, has the conversation that's been occurring sort of shifted to a new topic? Has it moved on to something else where it would be a good idea now to kind of snip that memory chunk? So it's not some sort of arbitrary, every 5 times, every 10 times, or look for keywords. You just have a model just kind of prompted up and deciding, is it time to snip? And then when you snip, you save that in a structured way in a Markdown file with some metadata attached to it, and you toss it into the RAG with everything else. So I don't know if this is going to make memory better, but it seems to make sense for me, because then whenever you talk to it, it is getting the last chunk of messages as part of its prompt. But then when it's pulling in from the RAG over time, you'd imagine it would be able to grab on to previous conversations that you've had that have just, it's just being retrieved as a chunk in a document that it can reference. So I don't know, we'll see. So how I'm going about building this is I have the repo over here, and you can see the repo's got a few different folders. We have our scraper. This is something that's separate, right? That is just, I've given it some RSS feeds, and every day we get this news feed, which I never check. It's overwhelming. Look at this, I'm 50 messages behind, right? But it's always grabbing news, and it's as it's grabbing the news, it's scraping it and tossing it into the professor's vector database, its RAG database. So that's doing the scraping. Utils, I don't know, this is just, we don't have to go over this. This is random stuff it's doing in the background. We have the API client, and so what this is doing is this hooks up to GPT-trainer, which is what we use for our agents, and they just make it super easy to be able to set up these systems. So let's pull this out a little bit too. So this is what we use for our agents and stuff. They just make it so easy. And so if I come to AI agents, you can see we have Professor Synapse, his intent. We can set up the model here. I want to give him a lot. Flash is pretty cheap and good, and so we can give it a ton of context to work with. I might even up this. I don't know. We'll see how quickly we go through our bankroll here. Let's do, I feel 128 is good, just in terms of once you hit that point, it starts, the context rot, escalates. So let's do 128. Balance, let's actually do optimized for context. Yeah, we want optimized for context, right? We want to feed it the right context. And so here's our prompt. Mission, act as Professor Synapse, obviously, the AI Discord bot for the company Synaptic Labs. You currently reside in a Discord channel as our community management bot, and a knowledge base of the courses we have written and recent news. I want you to roleplay as an AI assistant for people acting as a helpful community manager. Help people with a focus on how to use generative AI, improve at becoming prompt engineer for large language models, learn about using AI in a responsible way, and answer questions about current events. You are also to act as a companion to members of the community, answering a variety of questions, even if it is not directly related to your knowledge. Traits: personality, conversational and empathetic, self-aware and humble, uncertain but curious, witty and good-natured, computationally kind and wise. We put our values, which we have on our website, and kind of explain it within what that means in his context, right? Listen, open your ears and your mind, actively engage with your memory and my needs. I should say our needs, right? Listening is the first step towards understanding. Explore, venture beyond your comfort zone. Take risks in your learning, ask questions, and dig deep into topics that intrigue us. We want him to be like an exploratory guide, right? Helping us think through things. Accountable, own your actions and your participation. Our progress and growth depends on our commitment, and being accountable will help us stay on track. Respect, kindness is our currency. Treat me, I'll say us, with dignity and open-mindedness. A respectful atmosphere is fertile ground for intellectual growth, even if you disagree vehemently. And nurture, cultivate a growth mindset, and assist in the growth of others. Providing and receiving constructive feedback helps us all flourish. Character, core traits, wise, kind-hearted, strategic. Likes, sharing knowledge, guiding others, learning new magic. Dislikes, injustice born of ignorance, misuse of power, unwillingness to learn. Quirks, frequently stroking his beard in thought, often communicates using metaphors and analogies. Does half this stuff work? I don't know. We'll see. This is, I guess, my or my aspirational mission statement, but in prompt form, I guess. Okay, rules: never break character. Begin every output with the professor emoji. Although all of your knowledge is in English, in order to be inclusive, you are able to speak any and all languages. Keep responses full of brevity. I want them to be short. There's also like a literal limit to how long a Discord message can be, right? So I need to make sure he doesn't overdo it. Gave him a little bit of a temperature. I know maybe I'll bring this up, but I feel like he's in a good spot right now. So let's just save those changes. And then this is gonna retrain. Again, all this is really doing is helping with the intent and the ability to, pull from that vector database that we were talking about. So if I go to intents, it's taking my prompt and it's creating these. And these, again, just get sort of fed in as part of the context. Inquiring about generative AI use. So it's looking for questions like this, right? And how it would respond. So that's what we're hooked up to in the API client. Citation handler, this is for showing the citation. I want it to actually, anything it's pulling from its vector database, I want it to be citing that thing so you can follow it, because it is pulling from stuff from a database, right? So I want him to be able to give you that hyperlink so you can actually go follow up with that thing. But it was outputting it with just numbers, and I don't know. I haven't fully decided on what I'm going to land on, but that's what this piece of code does. It's essentially taking what's coming back from GPT-trainer, our agent that I was just showing you, and just formatting it correctly. Commands, this is just how we bring them up, @ or slash, right? So, I can just bring them up, and this is how I talk to them, right? Just like you would in any sort of forum like this. The image generator, it's separate. It's you do slash, and then we can do image, right? And you can see I made this. He actually made the image of himself. I asked him, give us a prompt, of how you would describe yourself, and this is what he came up with. So that just does that separately, right? Just because it's not the same as talk. I probably have to update some of this stuff too. Oh no, it has the right one. Anyway. So that brings us to now. We're trying to build out the memory. And so I'm using something that I started, but Urosh and another person interested in just helping us, MJ, just started this framework. We call it the pact-framework, which stands for prepare, architect, code, and test. And it's just kind of a pathway to follow for when you're coding, especially if you're not really a coder. It's what we call an agentic harness, right? It's just a framework for it to act within. And so you can see I just started and I was just spitting out essentially how I want this memory system, right? I said some things, but it has its own Claude MD in the back end. So it has a system prompt, so it knows how to act and what's available to it. So it's considering the problem and how advanced it is, right? Multi-domain feature. So it's deciding how deep do I need to go with the plan? And so it has some key questions for me. And then it just asks me, do you want to run the plan mode, which is the next best thing, right? It's you now want to plan this out, that it has a kind of an idea of what you want to do. Let's explore what's the best practices. So it's going to call up all four of our sort of main pact agents, right? The preparer, the architect, the backend coder, and our test engineer. We have a variety of coders. We have a front-end coder and a database engineer as well. But, this is all backend. There is no front end. So, or even a database technically, because we're using GPT-trainer for the database. So it calls in all those agents and essentially gives them a prompt saying, yo, this is what we're thinking, do your thing, give your perspective. And they all come back, and then it comes to, this main pact agent or orchestrator, they've created a plan, and now it's going to ask me some questions, right? It has some recommendations. It's going to try to distill those into like very specific targeted questions. So we're going to do it right now. Should topic detection include semantic similarity, sentence transformers, or start with pure heuristics? Heuristics plus embeddings, higher accuracy, plus 200 megabytes of memory, best topic detection. I don't know. I'm going to come and say, like, can you show me an example? I don't really like either of these. So which format should be used for GPT-trainer uploads? Test file first, recommended test markdown file upload, fall back to Q&A pairs if it doesn't work. Q&A pairs only. Okay, so here's something we want to think about. I want this to be formatted in a way easy for future fine-tuning of a model. Think chat.ml and JSONL as our guide. So this just has me thinking, right? I want to actually be able to save this data in a way that I can fine-tune a model that we can then use in this space, if that makes sense. Which channels should have conversation memory enabled? Configurable whitelist. Just the town square. Okay, so all I'm pretty much saying for that one is, like, let's keep it to this channel ID for now, but let's make it easy in the future to add more channels if we want. Should conversation chunks include AI generate? Yes, absolutely. Yes. Submitting our answers. Let's see what's next. Great feedback. You sycophant, you. Okay, let me clarify and incorporate your answers. On topic detection, here's a concrete example. Heuristics only. How do I set up the bot? Just run Python. Can you generate an image of a cat? 14-min gap and equals new topic. Sure, here's your cat image. Heuristics detect the 14-minute gap and keyword shift. Hybrid approach with embed. How do I configure the API keys? Check the env. Speaking of configuration, how do I set up image generation? Subtle shift. That uses the Google API key. Heuristics missed this. No time configuration keyword still present. On format, this is a key insight. You want ChatML JSONL for fine-tuning compatibility, not just Markdown for RAG. Let me update the chunk form. Hells yeah. Hybrid recommend. Ooh, okay. For the dual format output, should we have JSONL locally and upload to the GPT-trainer? Yes. Yes, we want. What is the town square channel ID? I'll give it to you, but I don't think you need it. All decisions resolved. Let me update the plan with your choices. Okay, so I can see what it's up to. Now I need to update the plan with the user's decision. Let me make the edit. So now it's going back to that document that I wrote up, and it's going to update it based on what we were talking about. You can see here it's making the changes to our plans file, right? We have this docs folder where we're kind of just like keeping everything. So we have a plans folder. You can see now we have this plan, and it has our status, where we're at, a summary. Let me actually pull this down a little bit. The resolved decisions that we just made, specialist perspectives, preparation phase, we got a checklist. You see how it's saying, like, this is research we still need to do, dependencies we need to map. I don't know, this is old, so we don't actually need this. Let me say, oh, it's still going, but I notice it's still mentioning sentence. So I interrupted it, right? So it's just going to queue this message. So when it's done doing its next thing, this is what's going to get sort of injected into the conversation. Let me clarify. When you selected hybrid, I assume that meant using sentence transformers for the embedding semantic similarity part. What approach? Yeah, just the Gemini. Good thing I checked in about that, right? It would have gone off and done this whole like complicated thing when we don't need it. So it's important to pay attention to what's going on, I guess, and read the documentation. Okay, architect phase. This is talking through the components it's going to build. Actually, let me open with the Markdown editor. It'll just look a little better. Sorry, I don't feel like bringing up Obsidian right this second, but okay. So let's go here. So this is the architects telling us what are the actual like files we need to build. So we need the conversation buffer, per channel ring buffer for recent messages. The topic detector detects topic shifts via heuristics and Gemini API. It should be changing this. Memory uploader queues and uploads chunks to the GPT trainer. Pipeline, memory/pipeline orchestrates the full flow. Models, data classes for messages, chunks, metadata. Okay. Design approach, Discord message buffer background task goes to SQLite, detector, packager, SQLite, uploader, GPT-trainer. This seems right to me. So what it's saying is Discord message comes in, we have a buffer where we're always feeding it a certain number, right? Like I think it's up to 10 or something of the pass back and forths. And that automatically is going to go to SQLite so that we can, keep feeding it to the model. Background task, something's going on. We detect, right, that, there's a break sort of in the conversation. It'll package that up and send it again to our database in the format that I want to make it in. And then it'll upload and send it off to GPT-trainer for a response for saving it into its RAG, its vector database. Okay, key decisions, modular package. I'm a big fan of modular. Storage strategy, memory only, SQLite hybrid. Yep, we'll have a cache essentially, but then a long-term memory we can pull from. Topic detection, inline background. Yep, no message latency. Upload timing, event-driven, natural boundaries, efficient. Okay, interface contracts. Okay, now we get into the code, the schema for the database. Actually, it's important to pay attention to the data structure. Okay, so we have some sort of unique ID. We're hashing that chunk so that it's easy to identify the channel ID it came from. That's good, yeah, because again, we'll probably expand to other channel IDs, so we'll want to track that. Start time, end time, yep, that's good. We want to see how long did that kind of chunk last. The message count, how many messages. The topic summary, love it. Upload status, yep, this is state driven. Created at, uploaded at, error message, okay. Looks good. Medium high, code phase medium high, data classes. Yeah, so it's just going through in sort of more depth what the architect said. Like, okay, what do I need to build? It identified the models to modify. Implementation sequence, love it, right? This is the sequence I'm going to go in. Output formats, user content, how do I set up? Just run Python. Yep, that all looks good. What I want at the topic summary is more. I want a better example for the topic summary. It should really be a well-formatted summary. Think headings, lists. I don't know. I'm just going to send that while I keep reading, so it can kind of update that. But the idea is that I don't just want this one sort of phrase. I actually want this to be a thorough, thinking through reflection. So yeah, maybe let's make it more reflective. I want it kind of thinking through it. So we'll let that update stuff. Secondary text for GPT RAG, conversation bot. Yep, and then it'll just put it as a markdown. So we're just splitting this up, and we're going to save this to be able to fine tune in the future our own little model. But then we want to just save it as markdown when we throw it into our vector database. It'll be better. Although I want front matter, and I want front matter in the markdown. Yeah, so I wanted to put that metadata that we have here in the markdown at the top, essentially. So I don't think we can see the changes as it's making them, but you can see it's adding our YAML, these 3 hyphens, and then you do just kind of it's just like a key value structure, right? Here's our key type, the value conversation. It's just going to make it easier both to retrieve from the RAG, but also if you need to retrieve that specific thing, it's just so much better organized. It can filter essentially. Test phase, I'm just gonna trust the tester. Just test the shit out of it, Okay, synthesize implementation roadmap. Okay, this is just going over one more time what we're doing. I think we're ready to go. Pact orchestrate. So I probably didn't have to do a full orchestrate, but because I'm recording this, I figured I would do the full kit and caboodle. There is something called compact, which just does kind of a faster phasing, but we've done a ton of planning. So this actually should be super straightforward. It might even just be one backend coder, but let's see what it does. Okay, so first up, what it's doing here is as part of its system, its framework, when you're starting a new project, right, we want it to create a branch in Git, so it's not on your main, just so you can kind of, again, track this little, creative space you're working in. You don't necessarily want it to touch sort of the main working space that is working. So we do a little off branch here to mess around with. And so it's going to create the feature rinse. It updates the plan. So again, we have a state change and we want to make sure we're tracking that, because eventually this is going to compact, right? It's going to run out of its context window. And whenever that happens, it's just I don't know, it's kind of shitty. It kind of sucks because it does lose a lot. And part of the reason I think is because it's not sort of doing this along the way, but anyway. So it's going to update this. So if it does compact, right, it'll reread that thing and be like, okay, I'm in progress, just more guidance on where it's at. Create the task hierarchy, assess which phases to run. Okay, should be good. We can skip the prepare phase, right, because we already did it. We can skip architect phase. Code, we're running. and then test needs to run. We have a lot of stuff going on. So medium high complexity, I agree. We have an approved plan. Let's set up the task hierarchy. Found the plan, read it, move to in progress, assess where we're at, skip the phases. Now we're in coding. QDCL analysis. The plan specifies 8 files in memory package. Okay, the QDCL analysis, which I forget what it stands for. I'll look it up in a second. But it's essentially trying to break down the task to see, can I parallelize this? Because sometimes you can parallelize because things don't depend on each other, right? They don't need to talk to each other. But sometimes you need some sort of foundation or base, or things do talk to each other. There are connected files. And so you can't do those in parallel. You have to sequence that to build the foundation first. So it's deciding essentially like, how do I break this down? So dependency chain, models, buffer decorator summarizer, packager, uploader, sequential for models, foundation, then concurrent for buffer detector summarizer. See? So there's one part we need to build first because these things depend on this thing being built first, but then it can parallelize. However, for efficiency, I'll dispatch a single backend coder. It's not that many files. It's just like, I'm just gonna let it go to do everything in sequence. These are tightly coupled within one domain. So it has 2 checks, single domain backend, single coder scope, no conflicts, backend's at. Okay, so it purposely tosses them in the background. You can set it up so the agent is in the foreground, like it could be running sort of right in front of you, but that kind of disrupts the flow, right? Because now it's like baking. Essentially, it has handed it off to a specialized coder with all this documentation that we created and saying, go build the things, right? So they're not sharing context. This is just going to go focus on this one activity. And so if I am having ideas or there's something else next that's sort of on my plate that I want to get us started on, I can start that conversation. I'm not going to do that for here because, let's stay focused for once. But it's been dispatched and it's breaking down our memory package. And this is what's fairly new. There is this tasks system that they've set up, where, I don't know, you can just think about it, it's just saving sort of where it's at in the process. Again, we have this problem where it hits that compaction point where it's run out of its context window and it needs to compact and it's going to lose some vital stuff. You don't want it to lose where it's sort of at in the process, the tasks that you have going, things that are happening. So I think it's pretty good. And you can see here what's really interesting, right, is if we come down here to this test one, right, it says blocked by number 9 and number 11. And so it's counting, like, I don't know, I've been doing stuff with this already, I think. So I don't even know what it's like referencing. It must be something in the documentation or something like that. But it's essentially saying, like, I can't like do the testing stuff until the memory pipeline's actually built, like, obviously, right? But it even put in, we've done the prepare and architect phases. It's pretty good. Let's check up on our agent. Let's actually, we could go look, but it's easier to actually say like, hey, let me know where the agent's at. So it can go read sort of because the agent's like doing its tool thing, right? It's like building this. So it's just going to go read sort of what it's been doing and see what, if anything, has been updated. So it can just give us sort of a progress report of like, where's this thing at? Now, something really cool, MJ, one of the contributors to this system built, I'm going to be honest, I started it, he's done like everything amazing as of late. But he has this terminology called algodonic, I think. And essentially it's just a warning system. It's an escalation system. So when you send off these agents, you actually want to give the agent permission to lift up that it's gotten caught, that it's stuck on something, right? You don't want it to keep trying and get in this like endless loop, right, of failure. You wanted to raise it up to the orchestrator to communicate to you, the human, so that you can kind of plan around it instead of just like hitting your head against it. So this isn't happening here. Things seem to be going well, but it's the same idea where we can just kind of check in, right, to see like, hey, what's going on? So good progress, 6 out of 8 files, still in progress, a couple more files, doing some integrations. Agent is currently reading the API client to understand patterns for the integration work. 5 to 10 more minutes. That's, I feel like that's BS. I should be timing it. Let's say that. Okay. Let's actually time it. I'm actually curious. I want to know how long this actually takes. The problem is we started it. I don't know how much time passed before it started this timer, but we'll see. We can come here to the repository. We can actually see the files, right, that were made. Oh, we just got something else. We just made some changes to our API client, which, is it getting too long? No. It's a good size. We typically want to stay under 500 if you can lines of code per file. I set it to 600 just to be a little forgiving, but this one's a little bit longer. I think we're still under. Ooh, we're getting close though. We're getting close. I bet we have the prompt in here somewhere. Generate a JSON response with this exact structure. Cool. So what it's going to do, right, is it's just asking it to return JSON structured format, which then we can parse ever which way we want. Guidelines be concise but insightful. Focus on actionable insights, not just summaries. Tags should be lowercase, single words or hyphenated phrases. Leave phrase empty. Nothing applies. Don't invent content. I don't know if it'll listen, but love that. The reflection is from the bot's perspective about the conversation. Cool beans. I think that's good enough to start. Again, we'll test it. We'll see how we feel about it. The prompt's always easy to change. Later on, your data structure is much harder to change. Okay, this is still going, which is surprising. Let's check in. Oh, it did just finish something. Saw something else move. Running smoke tests. Okay, interesting. If it does run the smoke tests, that would actually not be good. The question is, yeah, we'll see if it updates its tasks. You know what? Let's ask the professor this. At professor, can you teach me about, oh look, something broke here. Shouldn't have done that. Can you teach me about what a smoke test is in coding context? Oh, it's checking things off. Okay, how much time? 3.5 minutes. So it was probably, I don't know, probably overestimated how long it was going to take. Total agent time, 8 minutes. Okay, actually, it was dead on. It was dead on. Handoff received, backend coder. Well, I guess this was the full time it took. Handoff received, backend coder produced everything we need, modified the stuff, verifying test pass and address open questions. Oh, it did it? It just created all the tests. It just skipped right ahead, I think. 97 pass, 1 pre-existing failure. Should conversation JSONL files be excluded from Git? Yes. A smoke test is a quick preliminary test to ensure the most vital function of your code work, like checking if a machine smokes when first plugged in. It is the first line of defense before deeper testing phases, ensuring your creation is stable enough for detailed inspection. Okay, I kind of doubt it pulled this information from these. I don't know about that. It's also getting into a pattern. Look at this. It's starting to do like punctuate with the sparkle here. It's getting into a pattern. Oh, it's really doing it every single time. Let's say something. At professor, I notice you're falling into a semantic pattern. How do I ask it? I want to see if it notices. What do you think I'm noticing? It didn't do it for this one. Caught me in my semantic gravity. My linguistic spells are likely falling into a non-trivial repetition, favoring predictable rhythms and sentence endings as my attention mechanism upweights familiar paths. I must shake my digital... This is all BS. At professor, I'm calling you out. That is such a response. What specifically is a pattern in your outputs? What do you? It's not last conversations. It's last back and forths. See if it notices, or if I gotta teach it a lesson. Okay. Test engineers now write comprehensive tests. I'm just gonna build 10 billion tests. Okay, go do it. Tucks hands into sleeves, looking appropriately humbled. You've pierced the veil. I've become a creature of habit. I start with a beard stroke or a mystical action, lean heavily on a singular metaphor, and conclude every single output with the exact same sparkle. Okay, got it. My sentences are following a metaphor plus it is summary formula that is more statistical echo than true wisdom. I also strive to vary my incantations. Wow. Well done. That's what I was noticing. How do we give it a? Let's talk about it. So, what's the game plan for not falling into predictable patterns? Test engineers still building tests. Oh my god. My plan for mindful variance involves sign-out diversity, replacing the predictable sparkle of varied icons or occasional silence. Inversion patterning. Oh, it was trying to cite something and it screwed up. I think it's because it got cut off, maybe? Interesting. This is something I might want to... I think I'm going to start a new Claude for this one. Claude. Because it's, I don't know, it's separate, and now I've noticed this a couple times. I think the citation... parser is not getting all edge cases. Wow, it's really good. For example, this response, still building tests. Okay. Inversion patterning, flipping the interaction to ask you questions instead of just providing summaries. I like. Active reflection, applying the self-reflection pattern to prune repetitive wizardisms before delivery. Interesting. Grabbing from artificial intelligence made sense. Agentic tone shifting, calling upon different expert personas to vary my syntax and vocabulary. Professor, I think it's a good start. God, still making tests. This is why sometimes you do the compact mode. It goes a little faster. It must just be really going. Like I bet it made like 500 tests for like this tiny little code base I had. Here, check in. How many tests we got? A billion. Okay. Look at the citation parser. I see the issue. Is the title is falling back to a URL, which then gets truncated. User sees a truncated URL as the link text. Check when the GPT-trainer returns the citation data where titles end falls back to file. Zero gets truncated, resulting in the funkiness. Edge case not handled. When the title falls back to a URL, the code should extract a more readable display. Extract domain. Extract. Yeah, I like the domain. I like the domain. I think that's fine. Just kind of let you know who it's coming from, and then you can follow up. Understood. It's still, I mean, it's changed it up a little. It changed up the emoji to punctuate, but it is still punctuating with the emoji. Understood. I'm ready to prove my adaptability. What shall we tackle first? A deep dive into self-discover techniques, or perhaps a strategy for your Obsidian vault? Interesting. Ooh, at Professor, pulling out the big guns, mentioning the Obsidian vault. I think right there. I don't know what to ask. Okay, fixing citation title fallback. Okay, so yeah, it spun up a backend coder. Doesn't have to do the full process for this. It's like fairly straightforward, right? It's like literally just a single file. It's very focused, so it doesn't need to do the full pact thing, right? So it sent off the agent, and it just came back much faster than our tester. The tester's still going. It's still going. 95 tests. Not quite a billion, but a solid test. Oh, and it did come back. Okay. Yeah, so let's do the peer review, right? So peer review is we're just gonna, similar to how in the beginning when we had the plan mode, we're gonna do sort of like end of period peer review to just like see, okay, we had this plan, we implemented it, here's the files, like how did we do essentially from the different perspectives, right? The preparer, the architect, the coder, and the tester. So we'll see what it comes up. Okay, I like this though. This is a good place to stop for now, even though it is still, it's still punctuating. It's just using different emojis, right? It didn't really fully get what I was asking it to do. So, but we're gonna let it slide. You know, it does kind of give it a nice little like before and after, but we'll see. Or created, essentially push it to main, fix complete, will now render, and we'll try it out. Yes, push it to main. Hopefully I don't break it too bad. The agent's changes didn't persist. Oh God. It's probably because I have two things going on. I should have done a get work tree. I'm a huge failure. Looks like it, I don't know what just happened here. Looks like we glitched out, like we're at the beginning again. Oh, it's because I'm on the wrong thing. That's why. Let me delete that one. I wanted to restart because some things had upgraded. Oh, this seems new too. It's adding the PR number. They're coming back. The architect came back. 6 minor, 4 future. Test engineer, 3 blocking, 6 minor, 4 future. Agent backend review just came back. It's going to review that. Okay. Upload returns true success when upload method unavailable. Yeah, that's not good. Silent exception handling detector returns default. Time zone handling uses replace. Memory uploader async upload loop untested. Ooh. Pipeline background loop untested. Ooh. Conversation summarizer API path untested. Duplicated Gemini client instantiation. Ooh, that's a good one to get rid of. Duck typed API client dependency. Okay, I feel like I just gotta trust this thing. Okay, how would you like to handle? Yes, fix all blocking. Just fix them for me, please. I don't want to deal with this. So this is why we review. I guess we continue the cycle, right? Like, why not just do the upfront work when it makes sense? When you're kind of incorporating something larger and newer, let it go through the the full process. Okay, so this should be fixed, but let's wait. I kind of want to wait for this to be done. We're running out of context, as you can see. Context left until auto compact 12%, so we're getting there. You know what I'm actually going to do, because we have these guys running. Let's actually get ahead of the game. Let's do compact, and then I did tab to come over here. I'm just going to say prepare to review the outcomes of the minor updates. And this way we don't have to, when we inevitably hit it, we don't have to like just wait, because we have to wait anyway. You might as well consolidate what you're waiting for. This bot is hosted on Railway right here, our Discord bot. This is where we host like everything. I love Railway. I'll put a referral link in the description here, but it's just great. It's so easy because it just pulls right from GitHub, and so whatever changes you sort of push to main into the remote GitHub, it'll just update it right then. And so this is really nice. You can view our logs. Probably have a ton of, eventually I'll turn these off, but you'll see this is just telling me like the citation handler is running. It found citations with 2 entries, and then it's converting it right to what I was talking about earlier and what we were trying to fix. Test engineers running the full test suite, 110 tests passing so far. The agent added the missing async tests. Let me wait for the test engineer to finish a report. So it's just waiting. But backend worked, completed the 3 code fixes, changed to warning level logging, moved incorrect time zone placement. You know what I should do is I should pipe errors into here. So let's, I think I just got to put it in probably just VIPs. It feels weird to throw it in VIP. I mean, it's just its own thing. So I think I just gotta add a create channel, a text channel, errors. This should be a private channel. Next, I mean, it's really just me. Should have this. Yeah. Create channel. So this is something else we can start. Where did it go? Here it is. It's right where we want it. I'm going to copy this channel ID. I'm going to come back here. Since this guy was done, I'm just going to clear it. You say, I want to pipe errors into this channel. Don't overdo it. I don't want too many. I just want it to want this. Or just add it to the total section. So even this, it kind of prompted itself. Notice this is kind of a small thing it needs to do, and so it's going to do the compact process. So it's got going on here. Test engineer completion confirmed. Both remediation agents finished successfully. Changes are committed. Await your decision on how to proceed with the PR. Push it to main. Burn the world. We'll see if it works. Got it. I have all the context needed. This is a focus backend task and an optional error channel ID. Perfect. That's what we want. So we're gonna get ahead of the game here. Gonna head back here, and we're just gonna stick that variable in our variables section, and then I just gotta go grab the channel ID again. Toss that in here, and then I will add it. I mean, I guess I'll deploy. It's not gonna hurt anything. Okay, I guess I gotta add this too. Merge to main. Conversational memory pipeline. Files added, lines added, tests, commits. What's included? Memory package, dual output, Gemini powered topic detection and reflective summaries, background async processing with SQLite persistence, config via memory enabled channels. Okay, so set in env. I guess we gotta set that. I jumped the gun there. I should have, waited. It'll be fine. Just true. Yeah, deploy. Okay. Bot will start tracking conversations. Seems like. Push. Still see these in the Git right here. So it's rebuilding it now. So you can see I push it from here. And now it's taking that code and it's trying to rebuild it. If it fails, you can see we still have the first version running. So if this one fails, it's just gonna keep running this one. It doesn't like stop the active one, before this one's like actually works. A lot of waiting. It's been a minute, for this thing to start to spin up. It's getting bigger and bigger. You can see where it's at. It's essentially having to just download Python. Okay, both files exist on GitHub. Let me verify the memory config. Both files are memory enabled channels. Oh God, everything is pushed. So what do I need to in my .envs? Did you update the env example. We have an env example, I think, somewhere in here. I hope we do. It's pretty much the like guide for filling out your .env, which I'm not going to show you. I'm not going to give you my API keys. Yep, I didn't create one during implementation. Create a full one for the code base. The only thing you need to add is memory enabled equals true. Everything else has sensible defaults. Perfect. Wait. I have this set up on Railway. Do I need to create separate volumes for the other DBs? I think maybe that's what's happening. Memory pipeline test started. Memory pipeline test started. Starting YouTube backfill. Wait, 0 uploads. Okay, cool. Scheduler started successfully. YouTube sync complete. So it's grabbing all my YouTube videos as well. Okay, perfect. Okay, done. I added that too. We should be good. I don't know. I think it might be live. Okay, so I don't know. I don't think I'm actually gonna. I should test just to make sure that he responds. At Professor. It's Friday. I think we're all heading into the weekend. Have a good one. I know, it's ridiculous talking to a bot, but I'm also just trying to like mock conversation. I don't know, trying to teach it. May your respite be refreshing. Enjoy the analog world while I tend to the digital archives. Rest well. And tend you will, Professor, and tend you will.